welcome back to the Applied Imperative podcast, where we explore the technologies shaping the future of design, manufacturing, and innovation. In today's episode, we're diving deep into the world of CAD, computer-aided design, not just where it is today, but where it's going into the future. And I'm thrilled to be here with George Rendell, who is Vice President of NX Design and Open Tools at Siemens Digital Industries Software. NX is widely regarded as one of the most advanced CAD platforms on the market. It's used by some of the world's most innovative companies doing amazing things. But we want to go into what sets it apart. How is Siemens using AI to reshape the product development process? And what does a future of engineering look like when human creativity meets digital intelligence? So with that said, whether you're a design engineer, a product strategist, or just curious about how things are made and designed in today's rapidly changing world, this conversation is packed with great insights. So George, thanks very much for joining me.
Dale, thanks very much for having me. I am also thrilled to be here.
Great.
And thanks for inviting me, and look forward to our discussion.
Great, me too. I know you're a very busy person, so I really appreciate you taking the time out. So George, let's start high level. NX is obviously one of the most advanced CAD tools on the market, but what makes it stand out from the competition? And maybe put a different way, what kind of differentiates NX from some of the competitive products?
Great question, Dale. I think the starting point answer might not be what you expect. I think it's that the team is really driven by our customers' success. Mm-hmm. So we are very oriented and have been for some time to make sure that our customers can completely accomplish their task and that they can do so more productively than any of our competitors.
Okay. That's a great answer. And so, making sure companies can really leverage that value and get through the design process in a very efficient way. And there's a lot of great features packed into the tool, right? So
exactly. And I think, if you look at my role today with responsibility on the product roadmap, I feel like I'm a shepherd after a number of predecessors that have gotten the product to where it is and the existing success that we've had with many customers today.
Right. We're all standing on the shoulder of giants to a certain extent, right? So you're leading that charge now from all the history of CAD over those many years and decades.
And I think you mentioned advanced. So I think we have, as a team, driven innovation into the NX products that our customers are using productively by listening to our customers, by our own invention, and also making sure that the features and enhancements that we add to the product, again, have customer value.
Great. Okay, so very customer-centric focus on exactly how customers are using it and then baking in features and functions so that they can leverage that even further. Great. How do you see the role of CAD evolving, and so what's different now today about how engineers develop products maybe compared to how it was 5 or 10 years ago? Are you seeing anything there?
A lot of change. In some cases, a lot for our users and customer companies to keep up with. And so today there's a lot more help built into the system. In NX, of course, we have a discovery center so that customers or users can get help in different languages, in different videos, as well as on-screen textual help. We publish a series of YouTube videos, so our help is not only within the product, but available to our users. The easy answer for what's different from today to yesterday, but on the technical front, a lot has changed. Used to be you had a different system for surfacing versus solid modeling. Today, that's all combined into one.
Right.
And we're one of the few products that actually combines the precise solids with the faceted data structures in the same solid.
Right.
And if you look at manufacturing methods for additive, data management connections through PLM, the requirement to tie to electronics, the requirement to tie to electrical cabling and routing. So to me, yesterday's CAD could be a little more narrowly focused and do something in design, 2D or 3D very well. Today, when I think of CAD, you've got to connect to the bigger environment. You've got to satisfy the requirements of our enterprise customers that are quite complex. And you have to serve the needs of startups or single-use type users.
Yeah, that's a great framing. I like what you said there, and a couple of things spring to mind. One is, with the help and the assistance that's out there in the tool or outside of the tool, presumably that means maybe a little bit less training, maybe it's quicker for people to get up to speed, maybe they can be a bit more sophisticated in terms of what they do because all of that help is there. And then the other thing is, products themselves are becoming more and more tightly integrated, whether it's between hardware, software, electrical, and as you mentioned, the kind of convergence around workbenches and modules within the suite and the tool itself enables people to sort of mimic that integration that you see on the product, right?
Yeah, really, kind of jumping or accentuating your first point, I remember when I had the luxury to go to a week of training on the new release. And the number of enhancements that might have been delivered in that release are perhaps a tenth of the enhancements that we're now delivering every 6 months.
Wow. Yeah.
And perhaps back then, again, not to date myself as a veteran in the CAD industry, but the release cycle might have been a year, might have been a year and a half. And so we're now putting out 10 times as many enhancements in a half to a third of the time.
Wow.
And customer management expects users to be literate and software to be, by default, straightforward to use and discover the new capabilities.
Yeah.
So keeping on top of best practices and technical tips, I think, is a challenge. Our users today don't have the luxury of a week of training.
Right. That's fascinating. You say, just how many more features are being pushed on a much faster cadence as well. So that's very powerful stuff. Big topic everywhere these days, whether it's here at Realize Live or elsewhere in industry or just globally across society. AI, artificial intelligence, is coming. It's eating everybody's lunch. The world's going to change dramatically. How do you look at AI from a CAD perspective, NX in particular? Like, what's happening there? What's there today? What's coming?
Could be an extended answer here, so try to hit the high points. With NX, of course, we delivered our first AI-driven algorithm almost 6 years ago. And this was the NX command predictor based on this concept of Markov chains, which is an AI algorithm that had been published for some time. We were the first MCAD product, or the first CAD product, to deliver some sort of an AI command. Back then, there wasn't the hype that there is today.
Right.
Back then, I wasn't sitting at the dinner table with my family and them asking me about what's AI doing to my product or my job or my career.
Right.
So clearly there's a different perspective today than there was when we started with AI.
Yeah.
To your point, I think the advantage of having started and seen some user productivity with our customers from the command predictor is that that's allowed us to build on commands every year since. So today we have a dozen, maybe 15 commands in the NX product, either in NX Premium or in our NX value-based licensing product offering, that are AI-driven commands that provide productivity value to our users.
Wow.
Quite a few of those commands reduce clicks. So software-wise, we want to reduce the tedious clicks that one of our users has to go to and allow them to focus on what they're working on.
Right, exactly.
All of that is really before the hype. So perhaps not a surprising answer, in December, 6 months ago, we released the NX Copilot. Released first in our NXX environment. It actually is an AI agent or an AI engine that sits within NX and allows human interaction. And what it really does today is traverse our technical documentation, again, back to usability. What we envision growing that into strategically over our next releases is an ability to help provide guidance, provide engineering content, provide smart engineering information to the users about what their design is, and eventually to be creative and generative for our users.
Right.
So a lot of big hype words. What we plan to do is enhance on a 6 months cadence and drive things into our Copilot that are AI driven, that provide value for our users and our customer companies.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you for elaborating that. The whole generative design kind of area is also kind of buzzy, but I'm sure there's a lot going on behind the scenes that you probably can't tell us about, but I think you've given us a really good flavor for that. And also, I had no idea that Siemens was so early, 6 years ago, like you were saying, in introducing the kind of first AI enhanced, let's call it, functionality. So that's really good.
And a little bit of that focus, again, goes back to my key point of innovation. So team is focused on what our customer needs to do to be successful. We're workflow driven. Comprehensive digital twin in today's marketing terms, about creating a tool to create the whole customer's process, right? So that keeps us driving ourselves to strive forward. We're filming today, I think, as you mentioned, at our user conference at Realize Live Americas here in Detroit. We're here to listen. So what are our customer problems and challenges? How do we correlate that to what NX offers today? How do we correlate that to enhancements that we could deliver? Or in the case of your AI question, what have we got working today in AI that might be an agent or an agent talking to an agent to help get that job done tomorrow.
Right. No, that's great. I think one thing from my perspective is that Siemens does a really good job of is listening to the customer and taking that feedback and then developing that into the product over time. So that's really powerful.
I appreciate that, and I think that's also one of the partnerships that we at Siemens have with Applied CACs.
Yep.
We have a large customer base out there, a wide variety of customer sizes, small businesses to enterprises, a wide variety of industries. Our partner agents, partner reseller channel helps make sure that we're listening and that we're also prioritizing the feedback that we get from our end customers for the overall global success of our customers.
Yeah, that's great. Just to keep pulling on that AI thread a little bit, for me, I've always imagined, there's a lot of, doomerism. AI is going to replace everybody's jobs and we're all in deep trouble. And I think, to a certain extent, there are going to be areas that are going to be disrupted, absolutely. But for me, I see AI as an augmentation to engineers. A lot of engineers didn't go to school to study highly complex math and physics and material science to then detail a sheet metal bracket, for example, right? So my vision is that AI will free up engineers to conceptualize, to do more trade studies, to explore the design space much more completely by, as you said, removing all those extra superfluous clicks that you're going through, removing some of the friction in the design process. Do you see a similar sort of theme that will play out over the coming years?
We're quite aligned with your comments. I guess I also don't take a gloom and doom perspective. Again, back to a customer focus. If our customers don't get more productive, we don't win. If our customers don't get more productive and deliver to their customers what they need, they don't win. Right? It may well be that AI helps our customers be more productive, but need less software.
Yes.
So, there's a little bit of a teeter-totter balancing act there.
There is,
but as long as we're improving our customers' use of our tools for their value, in the end, they and we, I think, will win.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned, around AI obviously helping with reducing number of clicks and friction and things like that. There's tremendous pressure for every company to get products out more quickly, to customize them more to unique use cases. I was telling a story yesterday around the first time I bought a mountain bike. It was back in 1990, showing my age. I had a choice of about 6 bikes. Now, you go to buy a mountain bike, it's, okay, you're doing downhill, enduro, is it cross country? Do you want a hardtail, a full suspension? What color paint do you want on it? There's so much customization. And can you speak a little bit maybe to how NX helps companies just go to market much more quickly from a CAD perspective?
Great question, and maybe your example of specialization is a little bit on how we're structured with the NX product offering. So we have our 4 tiers of core seats at different price points for different customer sizes and different customer needs. But our optional modules sit on top of those and become more specialized for the task at hand, more specialized for the industry, or perhaps more specialized for the engineering user at our customer companies. Those optional modules have to get smarter in engineering. And one way to do that, obviously, is build things into the commands. Other ways to do that is leverage the AI capabilities that we've already talked about. So if the AI capabilities become more specialized for the task at hand, the user has to remember less from the engineering handbook or the PMI specification or the characteristic specification, or for the detailed steps to set up a simulation solve or send a design to manufacturing. So customer management want their users thinking innovative, drive new capabilities for their end customers. And a lot of times they're also trying to reduce cost, time, and effort. Anything that AI or our optional modules can do to help our users do that for their customer companies, again, is a win-win.
That's a great point. I remember my time as a CAD designer, oftentimes having to refer back to the standards and, okay, am I getting that right? Am I showing the tolerance correctly? Am I following this ASME standard or whatever? If the tool can help you do that and remove, again, that layer of mental cognitive burden, that's a great win-win.
And I think in your example, if I think about my engineering desk, yes, there was a CAD tool. Unfortunately, based on my age, there might have been a drawing board
me as well.
somewhere there. But today in the CAD environment, I still may have Excel. I may have a handbook. I may have requirements that have come to me from within my company. I may have test data from within my company. So those are all still cluttered around my table, my workspace, The more that I can query product like NX, the more that I could leverage AI things that are in NX to get good answers that I have confidence in. And potentially that means data mining my own customers' data that's been created over time with NX to go faster for the next design. That's a win.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's great.
And I think that prompts me a little bit to think about using AI inside of our development cycle for NX. We've talked so far in some of your questions about what's the value to AI to our customers, maybe where the hype is or hype isn't. We're also using AI and AI utilities inside in our development environment. On the product management side, where I'm responsible for, we actually have an AI tool now that'll crawl over our customer enhancement database.
Okay, great.
So last couple years, with the NX continuous release strategy, we've done a nice job at driving customer enhancement requests into the product. We haven't been as good at tracking our own extremely large database gathered over 3 or 4 decades of customer enhancement suggestions.
Right.
So we actually have an AI tool that'll roll through our database and find different language customer submitted enhancement requests that are actually the same thing. And so in the recent year, we've been able to go back in the database and update it and mark a lot of customer enhancement requests from our history as implemented. And then communicate that out to our partner resellers and out to our customer companies and start a dialogue about an enhancement that was in the product that they may not have realized because the enhancement request was still left open.
That seems like a perfect application for AI internally, like you said, because you've got all that data there, and for it to crawl over it and extract out the essence of what customers are asking for. Sounds like a great application. In terms of innovation, we're seeing our customers, hypersonic aircraft, space vehicles, electric cars, nuclear fusion. There's so much happening. The whole space industry blossoming in front of our eyes in the most incredible time. What sort of things are you seeing that really impress you from some of the customers that you deal with, and how they particularly apply NX and CAD to that?
I love what our customers do with their product. The ones that you mentioned and more, including some that I can't mention.
I bet.
So to me, the Realize Live conference is an opportunity to get caught up with some customers that I haven't seen in a while. That perhaps are talking about products that they've released, or you just saw the web announcement, and you get a little bit of the background story from our customer users about how they accomplished this or what else they did. So I'm always impressed with our customers, with what they do with our products. Reliving the case study of their latest accomplishment, again, helps us drive enhancements back into NX. So that's great for us. On our side, driving innovation into NX, probably the things they'll talk a little bit about here at Realize Live are the immersive engineering, the headset, not just a VR environment, but an environment to collaborate and an environment to do true creation and modification and editing, not just a virtual environment. So what we've seen is a lot of customers take their design off the computer screen and into the immersive engineering space.
Interesting.
And then be able to see and do things and touch and feel the product long before they get to a prototype. Especially important because it's lower cost. For our startup customers, it gets them to see the product in real dimensions. And at some levels, some feel and push and pull in engineering change. So that would be an area that we highlight. To me, at the other end of the spectrum of innovation or new enhancements is our characteristics. So we're the first CAD company to deliver a characteristics data type. This is an industry standard just ratified and published at the end of last calendar year. And we have enhancements in NX, in Teamcenter manufacturing, and in Teamcenter to allow quality inspection checking to have a traceable engineering loop. And that meant enhancements across all 3 products, and that meant jumping on a new DMSC standard that is only published and approved, ratified, whatever the right words are, in November of last year. The big value there is it ties the downstream quality control checking plans back to design and creates a traceable loop.
The digital thread is being completed.
Exactly. So I think a lot of times when people ask about innovation, it's the things that wow you at a show. And sometimes the things that wow you are the things that allow our customers to deliver high quality products faster, cheaper, and at less cost, and with less problems in their resulting product. So what we're trying to do again on the NX side is listen, drive our team to measure themselves by our customers' success, and innovate across the span of our whole product spectrum. Again, as you've already asked, not just in kind of a pure historical CAD perspective, but across the PLM landscape and the larger integration.
Yeah, that actually dives into my next question a little bit, which I think you've answered there really. But because NX is one tool within the broader ecosystem of the Siemens Digital Industries Software suite. And it's really interesting you're bringing in the quality aspects there. That's something I want to learn about a bit this week. Driving a CMM probe to inspect the key characteristics of a part that were defined in the NX CAD, which came from the requirements originally, and then looping all of that together and tying it together. That's really powerful. I think the other thing you mentioned around virtual reality, the kind of Sony partnership, right?
Yes.
With the VR goggles. I was telling a story to somebody earlier today. I spent 6 months of my life in a previous role designing a bracket, and that bracket, it was complex. It had a compound angle. There was some kinematics going on around it, and there were different iterations of it. In my mind, this thing was like this big. Somebody put the actual part on my desk once, months after it had been made, and I'd moved on to other things, and it was like this big. And because in my mind, on the CAD screen, it was that. So when you can use that immersive virtual reality world, and it's almost becoming tactile, where you can feel like you can push and touch and sort of visualize it at scale. That's really powerful as well. So,
and everybody's proud of what they created, right? Whether it's on the desk or whether it's in the airplane hangar, right?
That's very true.
To me, the sense of satisfaction that we in team get from what our customers do, which is kind of coming back to one of the key themes, is really awesome.
Yeah.
And I think also you started with a question about the reputation of NX being an advanced tool. And so to me means advanced across that spectrum, right? There are not things that we're playing catch up with our competitors.
Yes.
And keeping the scale of PLM, as you just mentioned, keeping that broad view of the scale of a large enterprise, I think allows us to deliver a better, NXX Essentials or a better NXX Standard module for a small and medium-sized company that may or may not in the future need that. But we've already built it into the infrastructure of what we're doing in our software product, how we tie into the openness, how we tie into the command capabilities.
Yeah. That's great. No, some good insights there as well. Moving to the next generation of younger engineers that are coming through, what do you think from a mindset or a skills or an aptitude kind of perspective that young engineers entering the workforce, seeing all these technologies blossoming in front of them, what things do you think are going to be critical for them to think about as they enter the workforce?
A great question. I'm going to suggest that I'm young at mind and young at heart. So you're asking me a question about myself, but I realize you're really not. I guess I might flip your question if you don't mind.
Yeah.
If I consider myself a veteran now, what would I have told my younger self?
Okay, that's good, yeah.
And my younger self was very enamored with the engineering and the technology. And I think looking back, concepts of teamwork, collaboration, finding a mentor and coach, those were things I learned and appreciated later.
Yes, yes.
And again, if we tie that back to what we're doing with NX, the immersive engineering came from pressure, in effect, from my manager's kids saying that, hey, look at the graphics on these gaming systems compared to the graphics on your product, Dad. So I think there's a little bit of healthy pressure from, let's say, the next generation or the younger generation or, our kids, as far as making sure that we're modern, taking advantage of the latest consumer technologies, not just the engineering excellence. I think we're historically good at the engineering excellence, and we have an ecosystem that drives that.
Oh, that's good. There's
I don't know if that helps. I bounced around a little bit there.
It definitely does. I can see there's almost like a gamification element to it, just because consumer applications are so user-friendly, so colorful, so easy to navigate. Engineering tools, because they're so sophisticated and they're doing very complex things, sometimes they can, the user interface can get a little bit, not cumbersome, but difficult to navigate. So I think, bringing some of that in is great. And NX tools, or Siemens tools in general, have done a very good job at that. And I think the other thing that you mentioned that I'd like to pull on from my own perspective is, I heard a quote once that said something like, your success in your career is 5% defined by your qualifications, 15% by your experience, and 80% by your ability to communicate, negotiate, strategize, have good relationships and things like that. So the softer skills side of it, especially as the technology becomes easier and easier. Younger people, focusing on some of those areas might be powerful as well. So
I think that's a fair analogy. I'd be happy to give 80% credit to my personal success to the team that I work with.
Right.
And what we do together with the product and what we learn from our customers and partners worldwide to put that into the product.
Yeah, well said, very good. Okay, just getting close to wrapping up here, but if you were to fast forward 5 or 10 years from now, what do you think that future looks like from a holistically engineering, product development, NX, anything you can share about where you think this is going?
We're always going forward.
Right.
Sometimes we take hit a bump in the road. I think in product management, I kind of have a saying that as a product manager, you always overestimate what we're going to accomplish in the next year.
Right.
We always underestimate what we're going to accomplish in a 3-year time frame.
Yeah.
So any 3 to 4 to 5 year estimate, we're going to do more than we think we can.
Yeah.
We might be a little over optimistic today for the next 12 months, but after that, we're flying forward.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think if you look back, you can see the same, right?
Oh, yeah.
I know there's a lot of hype around AI. Yes, it is something. Yes, it's got an ability to really be a changer in plateau, but we've experienced those in NX. We've got 5 decades of successful customer usage for some time.
Yeah.
So combining the regular needed enhancements, the technical innovation forward in computer science, in quality methods, in product management, in product marketing. We've done a pretty good job putting all those things together.
Yeah.
So what do I expect me in a couple of years to do? Less time in email, less time with tedious clicks.
That'd be nice. Yeah.
More time having NX have a co-pilot or a chat bot or whatever we may name it in the future to help me guide through my design.
Yeah.
More time conceptually thinking about something and having NX help me create it, even if I might not have been able to do all the manual steps to get there myself.
Yeah, amazing. Well, you're the absolute pinnacle of, trusted resources and to tell us where this is going. So I really appreciate the vision there. Thank you. And I think, to your point around how much things have actually changed, you look at the industrial metaverse, some of the videos that are coming out now, it looks like it's a movie, but it's actually animations of, humans walking around and robots doing their thing. And the photorealism of that or simulation, it's really powerful what's happening. And of course, the migration to the cloud and being able to access all of that any way you want with a virtual environment, it's crazy good stuff. Okay, final question. Realize Live, probably the biggest event on the Siemens calendar. What are you most looking forward to getting out of this week, interacting with, learning about? What does it normally look like for you and what are you looking forward to?
I think sitting down with you, Dale, at the table here is the high.
That's great. Thank you so much. I'll pay you later, but thank you.
You may think that's a little bit of exaggeration, but no, to me, the next 3 or 4 days is just overwhelming.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Go from having the opportunity to share our latest enhancements, highlight our latest customer successes with the attendees here. And that's only a small part of it. Much more of it is myself and my team listening to what's up.
Right.
What's our customers doing today in NX that's going well? What are the challenges they're facing either in our product or in their work environment, in their digital thread? Right? And then what do we talk about that comes next? And then to me, the third aspect is a little bit of what else is happening in the whole community, right? The Siemens Accelerator community is broad, diverse. So there's always perspectives on things that we've done or things that we could do. So I take away a couple weeks of follow-up. And always a bunch of great ideas that myself and the team work on to help us drive forward together next.
Excellent. Great. Well, thank you so much. I think, to summarize for me, customer-centric, it's a lot about learning, everything, the perspective of the industry and what's happening here. You've shared some amazing insights in terms of how we got here, where this is going, how AI is going to help, how companies, individuals, engineers are going to become much more productive as we go forward. And like you said, we're not stopping, nothing's slowing down. The rollout of features is accelerating all the time. AI is involved in also helping that and becoming like this flywheel effect inside of Siemens as well. So fascinating stuff. George, once again, thank you so much for carving out the time. I know you're busy and I appreciate the conversation.